You feel it the moment it starts. A scratch in your throat, a heaviness behind your eyes. Your body suddenly wants nothing except to lie down and stop moving. And you think, what is happening to me? But here is the thing. That feeling is not a malfunction. It is one of the oldest survival programs your body has ever run. And it was being run long before hospitals existed, long before medicine existed, long before anyone had a single word for what was making them sick. So what actually happened when your ancient ancestors got infected? The answer will change the way you understand your own body forever. First, let's go back, way back. About 300,000 years ago, a Homo sapiens is moving through a landscape that does not look anything like the world you know. There are no pharmacies, no antibiotics, no doctors with degrees on the wall. There is just the body and everything trying to get inside it. Infections were everywhere. Bacteria lived in the water, on the meat, in the soil, on the thorns and bones and stone tools your ancestors used every single day. A small cut on the foot could become a death sentence. A single bad piece of food could wipe out half a group. The invisible world of pathogens was, for most of human history, the most dangerous world of all. And yet humans survived. Not just survived, they thrived. They crossed continents, outlasted ice ages, buried their dead, raised children, and built civilizations. Something was working, some system was fighting back. That system is the one running inside your body right now. When a pathogen, a bacteria, a virus, a parasite, breaks through your body's first defenses, your immune system does not wait. It launches an immediate counterattack. White blood cells flood the area. Inflammation begins, and your brain receives a signal that changes your behavior almost instantly. That signal is called sickness behavior, and it was discovered not by studying ancient humans, but by studying animals. In the 1980s, neuroscientist Benjamin Hart observed that sick animals across dozens of species all did the same thing. They stopped moving, they stopped eating, they withdrew from the group, they slept. Hart argued that this was not weakness. This was strategy. The body was deliberately redirecting every calorie, every resource, every drop of energy away from movement and appetite, and toward the immune response. Your ancient ancestor did the same thing. The moment the infection took hold, the body sent one clear message. Stop, rest, let us work. And the group responded. This is one of the most stunning findings in the archaeology of ancient human behavior. Researchers studying Neanderthal and early Homo sapiens burial and campsites have found something remarkable, evidence of care. Individuals who showed signs of long-term illness or injury that they could not have survived alone. An older Neanderthal at Shanidar Cave in Iraq, studied extensively by paleoanthropologist Ralph Selecki, showed healed fractures, a withered arm, and serious vision loss, injuries that would have required months or years of group support to survive. Your ancestors were not left to die when they got sick. They were cared for. But the body's response to infection was doing far more than just making you tired. The fever is the part most people recognize. That rise in temperature that makes you feel like you are burning from the inside. For most of human history, and for many people even today, fever was terrifying. It felt like the body was failing. It felt like dying. It was actually the body winning. Physician and researcher Matthew Kluger spent years studying fever across species and concluded that fever is an evolved defense mechanism. When your core temperature rises, you are creating an environment that most pathogens struggle to survive in. Bacteria that thrive at 37 degrees Celsius begin to lose their ability to replicate at 39. Your immune cells, meanwhile, become more active in the heat. Fever is not the sickness. Fever is your body turning up the heat on the enemy. Your ancient ancestor did not know this. They just felt the fire inside them and shook, but the fire was working. There is something else happening during infection that almost no one talks about. Your brain changes. The same inflammatory signals that trigger fever also alter your mood, your memory, your desire to socialize, even your perception of pain. Researchers call this neuroinflammation. It makes you irritable, foggy, withdrawn, and deeply uninterested in other people. You want to be alone. You want darkness and quiet. Every sound feels too loud. Every light feels too bright. This too is ancient strategy. By withdrawing from the group, the infected individual reduced the risk of spreading the pathogen to everyone else. By losing interest in food, they starved the bacteria of iron, which many pathogens need to multiply. Evolutionary biologist Paul Ewald has argued that many of the most miserable symptoms of infection, the loss of appetite, the fatigue, the social withdrawal, are not the disease winning. They are the body making calculated trades to survive. Your ancient ancestor did not understand inflammation. They understood the urge to lie in the dark and be left alone. The biology knew what it was doing even when the person did not. Now here is where it gets stranger. Not every ancient human fought infection the same way. The tools they used, beyond the body's own defenses, were surprisingly sophisticated. Anthropologist Amanda Henry and her colleagues have studied the dental plaque of Neanderthals, the calcified film preserved on ancient teeth, and found traces of plants with known medicinal properties. Yarrow, groundsel, plants that are bitter, nutritionally useless, and have anti-inflammatory or antiparasitic properties in modern pharmacological analysis. Neanderthals were not eating these for taste. They were consuming them deliberately, possibly because repeated trial and error over generations had taught them that certain plants changed how a sick person felt. This is the oldest pharmacy in the world, and it predates Homo sapiens by tens of thousands of years. Your ancient ancestors also used fire, not just for warmth, for healing. Evidence from archaeological sites suggests that infected wounds were sometimes exposed to smoke or heat. Modern research has confirmed that certain wood smokes contain antimicrobial compounds. They did not know why it worked, but they noticed that it did, and they used the group itself as medicine. Primatologist and anthropologist Sarah Blaffer-Hrdy has documented how social bonding, the act of being touched, groomed, held, lowers cortisol, boosts immune function, and reduces the inflammatory response in primates. When your ancient ancestor lay sick in the dark and someone sat with them, touched their forehead, stayed close, that act was not just emotional comfort, it was biochemical medicine. The body measured the presence of another person and responded by fighting harder. You were not meant to be sick alone. Your immune system actually works better when someone is nearby. But what happened when the infection won? Because it did, sometimes. Ancient mortality from infection was staggering. Researchers estimate that in pre-agricultural societies, up to half of all children died before age 5, many from infections we now cure in a week with a single pill. For adults, an infected tooth could be fatal. A puncture wound from an animal bone could take a person in days. Dysentery, parasites, respiratory infections, these moved through ancient groups and left silence behind them. And yet there is something happening at the genetic level that every infection your ancestors survived made permanent. Evolutionary immunologist Sharon Moallem has studied how ancient epidemics left traces in the human genome that are still visible today. Every major pathogen that moved through a human population killed some people and left others alive. The survivors, the ones whose immune systems responded slightly faster or produced slightly more of the right antibodies, passed those genes on. The pathogen itself was sculpting the human immune system in real time, generation after generation. Every infection your ancient ancestors survived made you slightly harder to kill. The resistance you carry to certain diseases today, the reason some people get sick and recover in days while others struggle for weeks, was written into your genome by thousands of years of exposure. Your body already knew how to fight some of these battles before you were born because your ancestors fought them first. Which brings you back to right now, that scratch in your throat, that heaviness behind your eyes, the urge to lie down, to close the curtains, to stop talking, to just sleep. That is 300,000 years of immune memory activating. Your white blood cells are moving. Your temperature is rising. Your brain is clearing the schedule. Every system in your body is doing exactly what it was shaped to do by ancestors who survived things that should have killed them and passed you a body that knew how to fight back. You are not just sick, you are running the oldest program in human history.